So for those of you who have little brothers and sisters, most of you have probably been exposed to Blood on the Dance Floor, and probably absolutely hate it. That's right, this has been the band that over the past couple of years has been the literal definition of polarity whenever it comes to fan base. On one side, there is a group that seems to be obsessed about this group, to the point where it almost seems like some sort of strange little kiddie cult. Meanwhile, on the other side, these are the individuals that have no idea what's going on with this group, outright hate them, and don't understand why one side even pays them any mind. I'm coverkillernation, and it's time for us to expose to all of those who think that these individuals are purely haters the 5 reasons why people hate Blood on the Dance Floor. And we start off with number 5, just look at them. Yes, I may be no looker, but really, Blood on the Dance Floor makes it look like they just looked at what the Black Veil Brides did to Kiss and decided to do something even further with that. What the hell is up with the things that are on the side of their face? Are they some sort of cat that doesn't understand where whiskers go? Not to mention, these are 2 folks where the gender concept came in and caused a lot of debate. There have been many things said about these fellas, including the fact that they look like a pair of lesbians. Look alone may seem like a really stupid reason to hate a band, and I can sort of understand the argument that looks aren't everything, but come on, there are some places where looks certainly would help. Number 4, they're metal. This has been a huge argument, one that has been all over the hard rock and heavy metal universe, considering Blood on the Dance Floor has been classified by many of their fans as hard, heavy metal music. And of course, the purists and those who have been familiar with this style of craft for many, many years, for some even decades, this is seen as a huge slap on the dick. I mean, on the face. We'll get to dicks and other fun bits later. Blood on the Dance Floor's music sounds essentially like a little bit of dance or a little bit of techno with a harder edged beat with lyrics that are absolutely appalling. It almost sounds like what would happen if you took a heavy metal record, a techno record, and just some sort of drivel that you would hear on Barney and Friends, threw it into a blender, hit puree, and then hit saute, and then decided to try to serve it to people. This is music that is barely consumable, and whenever it comes to the true element of metal, Nickelback may actually be more metal than Blood on the Dance Floor could ever pray to be. It's possible that if Justin Bieber decided to take his current motif and actually throw a couple electric guitars behind it, then he may actually be more metal than Blood on the Dance Floor. But let's move on. Number 3, Davey Vanity is a fucking rapist. 2 years ago, and really before that, there was evidence that was brought forth that Davey Vanity had potentially solicited minors for sexual contact after shows. It's also been proven and shown that he has text messaged many of his fans and has tried to establish friendships with them, which then involved taking nude photos and trying to solicit them for sexual intercourse. While some of these individuals were over the age of 18 or past the age of consent, a lot of them also were not. In fact, there have been web pages and Tumblr blogs that have been dedicated to Davey Vanity being a pedophile. This is something where I can understand if there is perhaps one in existence or just one isolated incident that sort of puts the spotlight on this idea and can easily be discerned that it's by somebody who's just less than thrilled with the band. But this is something that seems to come up literally all the time. And really, whenever you think about it, something that continuously pops up and continuously seems to have new reports associated with it after periods of time of break, not something that happens bam, 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 bam all the time. There has to be some elements of this that potentially have a little bit of truth behind them. Either way, there is a huge reason why people would distance themselves from a band such as this one based around that idea. Take a look at what happened to the band Lost Prophets after it was discovered that their lead singer, along with another woman, had raped a baby. Now Lost Prophets is a name that is only spoken in hushed tones or yelled, such as what I just did, in order to inflict the maximum amount of rage toward their crimes. Davey Vanity may not be in jail, Davey Vanity may not even be arrested. But if these are true claims, it isn't just the hate of some fans or some non-fans that he'll have to worry about. He'll get his in due time. Number 2, the fan base is musical cancer. Have you ever been in a debate with a Blood on the Dance Floor fan? Oh boy, isn't that just a treat? You get paragraphs upon paragraphs about how you're nothing more than a hater and how the army is going to come and kick your ass. all the while wondering where in the world some of these people learned how to spell, or if they know that there's a comma key on a computer. Isn't it just lovely whenever you get into these types of scenarios? And guess what, Blood on the Dance Floor fans? This isn't exactly helping recruit people to your cause. While you might be able to do enough of that by showing it off at the school bus or during 7th period math, whenever you should be learning something that's actually going to, do something for your life. Yeah, algebra will do something for your life, a lot more than Blood on the Dance Floor will. Instead, this is something where you're attempting to showcase some sort of superiority, which is an intranet idea. And I understand that that's probably just what I'm doing and all the other haters are doing as well. But here's the thing that's actually being caused by that. You're causing more people to not want anything to do with this band and causing much more dissent and making yourselves all look like a bunch of fools. And that's not in the stance of bullying. That is just in the stance of proofread some of your crap and understand just how silly it makes you look. But then that makes and brings us to number one. The number one reason why most people dislike Blood on the Dance Floor to the point of downright hate is the music itself. Typically speaking, whenever we do these 5 things, it's got very little to do with the music. In fact, it has many stupider reasons that are typically the ones chronicled. However, this is a band where the number one biggest reason I have seen for hatred is actually geared toward the music. If you take a look on YouTube, you realize that these are songs that have, at some points, or in some locations, millions of hits, which means that many folks saw some sort of buzz about this band and decided to check them out, only to eventually be so repulsed by it that they become outright haters of the band, perhaps after encountering another member of the fan base, reading something up about Davey Vanity, hearing somebody claim that they're metal, or by just simply looking at them. That's right, number one actually becomes an amalgamation of 2 through 5 after actually listening to this trash. This is what sounds like whenever you basically tell 2 morons that they can do whatever they want with their life, and then a whole swarm of idiots actually, kind of just gives them props and decides that they're actually, inspirational. It's kind of like what happens whenever Donald Trump says he's going to make America great again, but then doesn't say how he's going to do it, and a bunch of people just sort of hang on that word. Blood on the Dance Floor has basically said for the entirety of their career that we make good music, and a bunch of dumb people are just like, you know what, they're right, just because they said it. The music is really, if the fan base is musical cancer, or really fan base cancer, the music is musical cancer, considering this is some of the worst recorded material that I have ever heard. It's exceptionally suggestive, which should be no big surprise or no big, folly. However, it is also based around the fact that the musical construction, there's barely any to be beheld. Whenever you combine that with the shadiness and the terrible, terrible ideas that are really being thrown out whenever it comes to the lyricism, you have a combination for destruction. And considering the suggestive nature of these lyrics and who they're being aimed and targeted at, who the target audience seems to be, it really starts to boost up that idea that was presented in number 3 that Davey Vanity just might be a fucking pedophile. So yeah, overall, whenever you put it together, you've just crafted a witch's brew worth of garbage, and then whenever you toss the music on top, there's a poof of smoke that essentially smells like 15,000 cats pooped simultaneously, and then all of a sudden, a fan was just turned on right near your nose. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 5 reasons why people hate Blood on the Dance Floor. 5 reasons why people would probably prefer either listening to Nickelback or having a crocodile chomp their dick off. Who knows? If you'd rather have a crocodile chomp your dick off than listen to Blood on the Dance Floor, say so in the comments below. If you think I'm full of shit, say so in the comments below. I'm coverkillernation, and I'll talk to you guys next time that we dissect 5 reasons why a band or an idea is either loved or hated.